Next up, back in the gold here. Now this is another great example, guys. Reading tape at the high of day. We look for good speed. We're coming up here, right? We test the high of day. We have green pace of tape, lots of big buyers, so we feel confident buying the highs. Mark up our swing high, and there's the break above that swing high. Now this one, of course, we had to wait for all this chop and slop to come here after 10:30. This was still the lingering effects of the nat gas number at 10:30 today. By the time this thing calmed down, though, it broke above the highs. 10:48, 44.6 was the fill. 2 off at 4, 1 off at 9, 1 off at 1. That's 19 ticks or 190 USD. That's a breaker pattern. Okay, so it's going with the short-term trend, right, breaking through those highs. Again, at the high of day, look for big buyers, momentum pointing up, fast speed. Got to have that fast speed of the pace of tape indicator to make sure we have enough momentum to push this thing through the highs. And then next up on the S&P, now guys, this is a great example on the S&P of what not to do. All right, now the S&P, I'll admit, not my favorite market, but I know a lot of you guys have traded, so we watch it every day in the room here now. And guys, I want to remind my members out there, when we go through wave training, what do we know? The wave patterns, they come in threes, right? Waves come in threes. In fact, almost everything in trading comes in threes. Now look what we have here. We have this stutter step, or what I call kind of this stair step down, all right, on the S&P. So we're making this short-term trend down. We test the low of day. And so we bounce off the low of day after one tick new lower low. There's your first wave short. We come down, we make another lower low, right? There's your second wave short. And a third lower low, there's your third wave short. But guess what? Yours truly, I decided to take the fourth one, right? Why count, right? Who wants to count? Who's counting, right? But we know, okay, the waves come in threes. And this couldn't have been easier to, I mean, this really, I'm kind of kicking myself right now because this is a blatant mental mistake. So the fourth wave, expect that reversal. And of course, here it is right here, right? There's the fourth wave right there. That's the one that I took, thinking, of course, we continue with this, going back down to the low of day again. But again, it reversed against us after missing our profit by one tick. Now what happened was, come down here, we see momentum curled up, right? Momentum curled and pointed back up. We saw big buyers in the tape. The speed of the tape slowed down, and when I saw that, I get out for an exit. In the room, I call this -1. It was actually -2, so I got -2 times 4 is 8 ticks, so $100. So I was wrong in the room. I went back and checked this on my control center, and it was actually a -2 per contract. Okay, so two ticks per contract. Of course, 4 contracts, that's 8 ticks. All right, so we gave back $100 here in the S&P. But as you can see, though, guys, right, just take the first 2 or 3, and you'll be fine. All right. Now I was watching something else at the time. I came in late to here. That's why, of course, we had the fourth one here. Right. But guys, learn from this though. All right. The first 3 waves here were all easy money. It's that fourth wave that cost me. And then you can see what happened was after that fourth wave reversed on us, short-term trend comes up. We break above overhead resistance, mark up our swing high, break above that swing high, and there's a breaker long for 16 ticks. All right, guys, so real easy. We saw lots of great patterns of the S&P today, but you got to follow your rules, though, right? I clearly did not on that early exit for a loss of $100 there in the S&P. All right, let's keep going. Final trades here, guys. We're on gold and crude. We finish up with a crude trade just for 12 o'clock here for a 2-step short. I'll go right to gold, though, because I want to show you guys here just a fantastic example, guys, on a 13 range chart on gold today. Now, guys, today we tried to focus on some slower time frame stuff for you guys today in the room, and we're trying to incorporate 60-minute charts and 30-minute charts and 21 range charts. Okay, this is a great example of just how easy it is to see our patterns on slower time frames. Now, in the room, you're going to see a lot of fast time frames, right? 4 range charts, 8 range charts, 1-minute chart, 5-minute charts. Okay, but we can always slow them down as well. And this is a great example of a slower time frame. And between the hours of 8 o'clock and about noontime, we saw a bunch of great opportunities today, guys, here on the gold futures. Now, let's take a look at this. Now, I took 2 of these opportunities trades, and we'll show you guys here one by one. Now, first here in the lower left-hand corner, okay, this is going to be a 2-step pattern long. Right, we're going to come down. We're going to bounce off this low. Right, we come down. We bounce off support. I'm going to mark up my swing high, and there's a 2-step pattern long right off the bat. Right, that came in at 8 o'clock this morning. We watched that set up here just for the news this morning. Okay, easy pattern 2-step off the lows here. Then, of course, now the trend is back to the upside. So now we're trending up now. Okay, we come up, we break above overhead resistance. And of course, now when we break above overhead resistance, we're now looking for a wave long. All right, now right here, this is where I took the scalp right here at 10.15. You can see this here at 10.15 here. Okay, this was a wave long here on the gold. Okay, I took the scalp trade on the gold here, a 2-step long at 37.5. Okay, so at 37.5, I was getting long on my fast time frame, while the wave long was setting up on the slow time frame. Now, a lot of members grabbed the wave long. A good handful of us grabbed the 2-step long. Okay, no matter what you wanted to trade, I wanted to show you guys, though, great example, slow time frame, similar opportunities to the fast time frame. Okay, so whether you took the wave long or the scalp 2-step long, we all made money here. Okay, so once the wave long passed us, we then came up, and I took the second move here. This is the breaker long. Okay, so the wave long works out. Then we come up, we break above resistance, we mark up our support. Mark up our swing high, break above that swing high, and of course, once we broke above that swing high, that was our breaker pattern long now, right, going with the trend. 46.7 was the fill. I took 2 off at 4. We saw a bunch of speed that popped it up there, guys, went plus 21 for the second contract, and got filled my third contract at the same time. All right, guys, so 2 off at 4, 1 off at 21, 1 off at 21, a 4-contract trade. We take half off of the first target, quarters off the second and third targets for 50 ticks or 500 USD. Now, of course, you can call this lucky, right? Get a nice big jump after we get into trade. But, of course, we create our own luck, right? I believe in luck. You got to be in the right place at the right time there to grab that big move. What made us a little bit more money there was that we happened to have this big burst of buyers that pushed this thing up, filling all of our targets. All right, but again, we make our own luck, knowing where it was, how to get into it, right, and how to manage the trade. Guys, these are all ways where you can make your own lucky trades there. Okay, so we took $500 out of that trade, guys, 11.15 on the gold. Okay, so we took that here on the 13 range. And then finally here, looking for a breaker long above the highs at 49.5. We also marked up our swing low here, and we looked for a 2-step pattern short, right? As we always do, if we're testing the high of day, if I don't see good speed, if I don't see big buyers, if momentum curls and points back down, if I see big sellers, I'm looking for a bounce off the high. Okay, so now I'm going to reverse my position off the high of day at 12.18. This was as we were answering questions. It took a while for this thing to set up. We took a 46.8 fill here, guys. We took 2 off at 9, and you can see what happened was it came down, filled my plus 9 target, and then went right back up. And this, of course, is a great example of why we manage our trades that we do. We tighten that stop up because the last thing I want to do is make 18 ticks and then lose 25 ticks because I didn't want to stop. Okay, so tighten that stop up at your first target, lock in all that profit, lock out all that risk, guys. And a great example here, we grabbed another 18 ticks or 180 USD on that final trade of the morning here. All right, all of these guys on the 13 range chart. Okay, they're all in the 13 range here. So we took some 2-steps, some waves, some breakers, some 2-steps, guys. All 3 of our patterns were right here in a matter of 2 hours on the gold, guys. And we'll talk more about that tomorrow in the trade room. And again, guys, if you have any questions, bring them to training or email us. All right, guys, great job today. Total it all up. We had that one loss in the S&P. If I would have just simply followed my rules of the wave pattern, I could have easily avoided that one. 1350, 137 ticks today, guys. Another huge day in the live trade room. Let's prep for tomorrow. We got 8:30 GDP tomorrow, 9:55 consumer sentiment. Of course, we got a big World Cup soccer weekend ahead of us, guys. The U.S. made it through to the next round, so of course we're happy about that. Right? We got a lot of soccer fans out there, so have fun this weekend with that. But it looks like that may be the biggest thing tomorrow. Tomorrow we may be looking at people taking a long weekend because of that that attraction to the soccer matches this weekend. And of course tomorrow 11:30, guys, we'll do our tips and tricks webinar tomorrow at 11:30. So be here tomorrow, guys. We got news in the early morning. We're gonna wait and see what the volume looks like, of course, with the soccer matches of the weekend. But don't forget, we got that special webinar tomorrow at 11:30. So bring your questions. All right, guys, we'll see you guys back here tomorrow, 7:45 a.m. My name is Joseph James. Hope the video helps. Have another great week, another great month. We'll see you guys then. Bye-bye for now.